Okay, so if you're going to be applying to the Explore Global Commerce and Multicultural Awareness Institute, this is the application that we're going to go through today. Uh, I am going to be walking through this process with you as if I'm applying myself. That way you can see what needs to be done. And I'm going to apologize in advance if we make any mistakes, but we are going to get through this. So as we begin, we're going to find where it says first time user and register. That's where we're going to begin. So we're going to register since we have not started the application, okay? So you're going to enter your first and last name, just as it says, and you're going to enter your email address. What you want to do is make sure that you're using a business professional email. If you don't already have one, go ahead and stop right now. Go to a Google Drive or Yahoo or whatever platform you want to use and create a professional email. It's preferably going to be something that you want to take with you when you're applying for jobs, etc. Okay, you want to make sure you have this on hand for every application you use, and then you can carry this again. You can carry it with you in your professional career. So you can use your first and last name, first initial, last name, or a last name and first name all together, whatever the case is, okay? But again, you do want it to be a professional email. All right, so under high school, we're gonna go ahead and say that I am from Madison High School, okay? High school city is Houston. And for the sake of this application, I'm going to say that I am in the 10th grade, okay? And then go ahead and create your password, something that you're going to remember. The easiest thing I can tell you to remember is the last four numbers of your phone number with your last name or your student ID number and your last name, as long as it fits the requirements, okay? So let me create a password really quickly. And then we are going to submit. So let's see. Now it tells me my account has been set up and we have to go to the sign in. Okay, so make sure that you write your password down. That way you don't forget it. So we're gonna go ahead and click on where it says sign in, and it's gonna take us to the page. So remember what email you use if you created a new email. I hope you wrote it down. That way you know how to log in, okay? So let's go ahead and quickly enter our email and our password and click sign in. Now, what this is going to do is it's going to take us to all of this information. It's going to say our first name, last name, mailing address, city, and it looks like we're going to have to update it. So scroll all the way down to the bottom and just click edit, and you'll be able to enter your information, okay? So go ahead and enter your mailing address, your city, state, zip code, home phone number, your date of birth, and everything else that is missing, okay? Once you're done with that, you're going to need to answer your parents' information. So make sure you have their information on hand. Make sure you know their phone, their mobile number, and that they have an email address. Now, guys, this is really important that you do have an email address for your parents. This is where, if the program needs additional information from your parents, they're going to be able to contact them. In addition to that, if we need your parents' email address, make sure that you do update your Discover You portal if you did not put that in there when you initially created your account, okay? So continuing forward, it asks you for documents. So it's going to ask you for an academic resume. If you need help creating an academic resume, please don't hesitate to contact your Flow advisor. They will be happy to help you to make sure that you have one available to submit. You're also going to need to submit your recent report card or your transcript. What you're going to do is you're going to email your CAC, your College Access Coordinator, or your registrar. Although everybody is working from home, they do have access to your files. Now, if you do have a copy of your transcript, you can go ahead and take a picture of it and upload it as a PDF, or if you already have it in your computer, then that's great. You're also going to need a letter of recommendation. Now, it says here that letter of recommendation cannot be sent to more than one person. If you send letter of recommendation to a second recommender, the link for the first recommender will no longer be valid. So what you want to do is you want to pick somebody that you know will write a good recommendation for you, okay? And what you want to do also is email me and let me know if you need tips for asking for a recommendation. I have a lot of great tips that I can email you on how to request a good recommendation letter, okay? Next, moving along, you're going to go to section 4 where it says question and short answer. Make sure you pay attention to this maximum 2,000 characters per answer. So you do not want to go over 2,000 characters, okay? You can definitely be under, however, you don't want to have just 300 characters when you have a maximum of 200 characters, okay? So make sure that you do pay attention. Characters is not the same as words, okay? So characters counts every letter and every space. You might want to find an app. If you go into a Word document, it will count characters for you, so you'll be able to use that. So these really are short answers. 2,000 characters are usually about 300 words or so, give or take. So make sure that you are counting. Okay, so your first question is, what interests you about the field of business and which institute, global business, or energy and sustainability most benefits you? Okay, so read the question thoroughly. Make sure that you're answering each part of this question, okay? Then you're going to move to the second question. Do you think it's important to have a diverse work environment? Please explain your answer. So if you think that it is important to have a diverse work environment, you're going to put why you think it is important. Now, if you think it's not important, you are also going to explain why you think it's not important, okay? So make sure that you are answering each portion of this question. So as you can see, this has two portions, okay? It's asking you if you think whether or not it's important, and then it's asking you to explain why you think that way. Question number 3 is, what type of energy do you think is the way of the future and why? So here is where you can use your creativity a little bit. Obviously, you don't want to get too far-fetched, but make sure that it is related to energy and sustainability and not just something that we're pulling out of thin air, right? It does have to do with the program. So make sure that you stay focused on the program that you're applying to and answer it accordingly. So then you're going to move to section 5, notes and instructions, okay? And just follow these notes. And before you submit your application, make sure that you send all of your short answers to an advisor. If you want to have your parents look over them just so they can check for grammar and sentence structure and whatnot, they can do that as well. But make sure that you do send it to an advisor before you submit your application. We just want to make sure that you are answering everything, that you have everything correctly, and that will give you, the most assurance that you will be considered for this program. Because if you are missing something or if you didn't answer a part of a question, then it could disqualify you. Okay. Now, the good thing with this application is that if you get interrupted and you need to step away, you can save it and finish it later. Okay, so if you're, for example, if you're on question 1 of your section 4 short answer questions, and your parents tell you that you have to do some chores or whatnot, then go ahead and save and finish later. Now, I do suggest that you copy all of these questions into a Word document and then save and finish later. And then go to your Word document and answer all of your questions there. That way, you can then use your Word document and send that to your advisor. Now, once your advisor has looked it over, has looked at your application and says, go ahead and submit, then you would enter all of your answers into each section according to where it belongs, and you would then select I am finished and submit, and you would be able to then submit your application. Okay. Now, if you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to email, call, or text your advisor and let them know your questions. That way that they're answered. Make sure you keep up with your deadlines. You want to submit each application at least the day before the deadline. This gives you enough time to relax. You're not stressing about submitting, and your advisor is not going crazy reviewing your essays the day that it's due, because there are some students that will not be able to access until the very last minute. And so we want to make sure that not everybody is doing that, okay? So if you have any further questions, please reach out to your advisor, call or text them, and we'll be happy to answer your questions.